Something very strange is happening off the North Island of New Zealand in the Pacific. A hot blob, strange phenomenon spotted floating near New Zealand. So what is this hot blob? It's an enigma in the Pacific Ocean. The hot blob, they think, has finally been explained by weather experts. We had a similar blob like this in the Pacific, just off Vancouver, south of, let's say, Alaska. So what is this thing? The mystery surrounding this huge hot blob, it's floating near New Zealand, attracting media attention when it was discovered in the summer. There was an increase in water temperature about 6 degrees Celsius above average in a large area of the Pacific Ocean. And the scientists now believe it has to have been caused by an anticyclone weather system, according to what scientists now claim. Appearing on heat maps as a deep red blob, this patch is at least 1 million square kilometers, an area nearly 1.5 times the size of Texas, or 4 times larger than the whole of New Zealand in the Pacific Ocean. James Renwick, professor, head of Geography, Environment and Earth Sciences at Victoria University in Wellington in New Zealand, said the scale of the temperature spike near the sparsely populated Chatham Islands archipelago was remarkable. He explained that it's the biggest patch of above average warming on the planet right now. Normally, the temperatures there are about 15 degrees Celsius, and at the moment they're about 20 degrees Celsius. Professor Renwick believes this hot blob could be linked to rising atmospheric greenhouse gas emissions, was a consequence of man-made climate change. Now, we don't know. You have to remember that this part of the Pacific Ocean is also a dump site for various old rockets and satellites and stuff like that. Let's keep that in mind. What's happening in that area of the Pacific? It's a dump site for these, things that they don't need anymore. These rockets that they've sent up in space, or it could be some kind of an undersea volcano giving rise to this increase in water temperature. We have no idea, but they think it has to do with man-made climate change. That's what they're saying. The experts think that the phenomena was overwhelmingly due to a combination of strong high-pressure systems and a lack of wind. He said it's not uncommon to see patches of warmer water off New Zealand, but this magnitude of 4, 5, up to 6 degrees is pretty unusual. There's probably a very thin layer of ocean that has warmed up, and there has not been any wind to cool it off for several weeks. Anticyclones occur when a mass of air cools, contracts, and becomes more dense, and in turn increases the weight of the atmosphere and the surface air pressure. Renwick thinks a spike in ocean temperature over a short period could be difficult for aquatic life, obviously, if it takes place far beyond the surface. Such areas are less affected by temperature changes than those on land because of the greater amount of energy necessary to warm a mass of water. The experts say that they'll continue to study the temperature spike in coming weeks. They want to learn more about the hot blob's cause and impact, of course, of the local area. And this puzzling phenomenon followed a marine heat wave 2 years ago. It coincided with New Zealand's hottest summer on record. So this was more than a 3 degree centigrade above average. It led to the discovery of the Australian tropical fish along New Zealand's coast. The World Meteorological Organization, WMO, announced this decade was most likely the hottest on record for land as well as oceans. Seawater subsequently grown more acidic after absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and temperatures for the decade were about 1.1 degrees Celsius above average for pre-industrial period. The findings of the WMO's annual State of Global Climate Report released earlier this month stated 2019 was likely to be the second or third warmest since the records began. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.